I'm working with these two scraps of paper today. I don't recall what layout they may have come from. It looks like I must have gutted them to make a frame of some sort somewhere. And I think that they will make beautiful blocks of paper. I discovered them when I had pulled this one to make a scraps only layout. And while searching for additional papers to go with it, I realized I had two of these. And I said, oh, they're the same size. So I decided that I should be making a 2-page layout with these two pieces that would stretch this further. I normally pick my photos and then look for papers to go with the photos. But with this scraps only challenge, I'm picking my papers and then I'm searching for photos to work with that selection of paper. So I was looking through my albums and I wanted to find photos that were going to fit inside of this block, and the same here, and to be a 2-page layout. And I'm very happy that I actually found some photos. I'm also happy that the photos were side by side in the album as I had planned, and that I don't mind them being together. I would have been perfectly happy to do two individual layouts. But this one is like getting a twofer. So this 2-page layout is going to get both sides of the page done at the same time. But the truth is, I am seeing my scraps dwindle as I'm working on this project, which is a good thing. But meanwhile, this is looking like it's going to be super easy, that the biggest challenge I'm going to face really will be to figure out how to decorate this. It's made itself. The white background, I could do things to spruce it up like inking around. And I don't think that's what I would want in this case. And one of the reasons why I would not want that is because of this photo sort of has this halo effect. And I think if I did the brush inking around here, that would diminish this photo. So I don't want to brush ink. And the same for the smooshing technique, which I really love doing. I'm really thinking that the best thing I can do is to either leave it blank or now I could do something like this, which actually is something unique. Oh, I like that. So I think that's what I'll do. I think I'm going to push this one up to the top and pull this block to the bottom. And this leaves me a nice area for a really cool border up here and down here. Yes, I love making borders. That's what I want to do, is to make a cool border for here and a cool border for there. And they do not have to exactly match. They can actually be two different themes. I think that's the way I want to go. So let's go and see what I come up with. I'm about to make a fantastic border, and I'm going to begin with my ovals. I'm going to cut 2 ovals, and I'm using the second largest ovals. That's why I like to bring them all out to show you which one I'm using. It's the second from the largest, or the third from the smallest to the largest. Now on this, I'm going to be cutting 2 ovals with the red blade. As you know, I like to put a couple of pieces of peel and place tape on my custom cutting templates to help me keep the template from shifting. And that really cuts back on the shifting, the movement of the blade and the template, so that I don't tear my paper. So red blade, the second largest oval, inside track. And this is what I'm hoping for. Okay, I want 2 of these. I'm using bright white cardstock, which is a little heavier, slightly heavier than the just white cardstock that Creative Memory sells. Okay, I have 2 ovals. Now the width of these ovals is about 2 inches in this direction. So I'm placing my black cardstock covering my zero line. I want to make sure that my paper is straight on my mat. I'm using the template called Crest. I'm putting this mark on the line. I'm going to put my paper so it completely covers this zero line. And that way I should not cut off my paper. I'm also going to try to make sure that my template stays secure and that my paper stays secure with some peel and place tape to try to hold all of these things in place so that they don't move too much. And I'm going to make the first cut. Now, you don't have to be super precise about making this first cut. The thing that truly matters when making your first cut is that you just get it on straight. Now, before I let the template move, I'm going to try to make sure. Yes, so I got a clean cut. This is waist. So now I'm going to push my curve up so that the highest peaks touch my zero line. My highest peak touch my zero line. And I'm going to take my template, which was this way, and I'm going to rotate it around 180 degrees so that the peaks of the crest are now pointing to the right. Now, if you want to feel comfortable, I want my ovals about right here. And I'm going to be cutting about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of this, maybe a bit more. And so I'm asking myself, for instance, how far over? If I went this far, that's too much. And so if I put myself on the 2 1/4 line, that's a good fit, a little tight, but that'll work. But I think I want it a little smaller, so I'm going to go and put my tick mark on the 2 3/8 inch mark. So I'm going to go to the 2.5 inch mark, then go back one little tick mark. So what I have right here so far, 2 ovals and the crest shape. Next, I'm taking this baby blue cardstock and the fireworks punch, and I'm making 3 fireworks. Here is our title border. So this is our dry fit of how I will arrange the left side of this layout. And I found this variety card. I'm not sure what collection it came from, but it will fit, and I can also trim it down a little bit. And I'm bringing this oval motif down here, and I'll be able to, when I pull out my stickers, decorate here and here. This is the smallest oval, and I'm going to cut on the outside with my red blade. Okay, this oval is just right, and I think I can shave about, I'm going to try to shave off as much as 1/4 of an inch from this mat card. So it's coming in at 4.5. I'm going to take it down to 4 1/4. That fits much better, and the oval fits just perfectly. So I am ready to adhere everything down, and so I'll be back and I will put on my stickers. So I have everything adhered, and so now I want to put on some stickers. And the sticker set that I am planning to use primarily, there's a few others, but out of this world. This is an older sticker set, an older collection from 2021, but I did see some of it, including the stickers, around recently. I don't know if they're still in inventory at Creative Memories or not. But the one that really grabbed my attention was this one that said "Out of This World," and it has to go up here on. It has to go on foam squares. Let me pull out my foam squares and put this sticker up here. So I put my "Out of This World" sticker up here, and I knew I want to do some embellishments here. And if you've ever seen this collection pack, it has these the cat and the dog and the little space helmets. And I looked at that going, really? But I'll tell you, if there was ever a layout where I would use these, it's this one. And so I'm going to put these right here down by my journaling spot, because I could never think of any other place to put them. That's just me. I'm sure if you had some children's, I think they were intended for children. But if you are a Men in Black fan, then you know there's all kinds of little alien creatures. And so I went, why not? I don't know when I'd ever use that. And so I think I'm going to also pull a few of the stars. I don't want to bring in a lot of new colors. But if I put a star here, that gives me a nice embellishment cluster with 3 elements: the fireworks, the, the galaxy, and a star. And let's see if I have more. I have one more star that I would put on here. I'm sticking with the blue theme. I lit the orange because of the cats, but I want to stay with the black and the blue. Now I have plenty of punches that will make me some stars, so I'm not worried about it. But at this moment, I'm going to let this stand. There could be an element here. It could be something as simple as the date. So as I was making this journaling spot, I asked myself, will this be enough space to tell the story? Because there's more to this than just these photos. These photos invoke the memories, but there's a bit of background that went with me during this trip and getting on this ride. These pictures come from as you're walking through the queue to take the ride. I'm not going to bother you with the whole story. If you want the story, leave me a comment and I'll make a little YouTube video and tell the story. But you're here for the scrapbook page. Okay, now let's work on the right side of this layout. So I'm sitting here trying to decide how to decorate the right-hand side of this layout. I have a plan for my photos. I have this tangerine cardstock here and this black uh, that I'm continuing to use from the left-hand side. So the one thing I know I want to use is the Tire Tracks Border Maker cartridge. It's a knockout style. And so since I know I want that on my page, I'll just cut it and then start seeing where things go after that. Now, I really haven't used this punch much before. I was a late adopter to purchase it. And as I'm seeing with most of these cartridges and punches, just because I can't think of how I'll use it in the moment doesn't mean something will not later turn up. Okay, so I've punched the tire tracks and I'm going to trim it. I'm going to go to 1 3/16. Hopefully that'll be right. And I don't think I could do any better. I found another variety matte card. I'm going to double matte this photo. And now I have the tire tracks down here. You know, I may not need much more than this. So I was hoping that I would have found a sticker of a cool car that I could put to make this a border. I have adhered the photos to the page. So now I'm going to make the border across the bottom, and I think I'm keeping it simple. I'm going to use the Rhythm Border Punch. And I'm going to first cut a waist strip, or just cut the edge using the Rhythm. Keep in mind that when you use these decorative blades, use firm pressure because you cannot go back and forth with them. It will not give you the nice clean cut you want. So putting pressure down and cutting. And that is giving me, definitely, it's giving me the look that I want. So I want to cut this, and I'm going to turn it around so I get the outside at the same amount I want. Now my tire tracks were cut at roughly 1 3/8 of an inch. And so I'm going to want at least 1 5/8 of an inch of a border. But you know what? I'm going to go all the way on over to 1 3/4. So I'm cutting the second cut at 1 3/4. And once again, putting firm pressure. I'm going to even be more firm than I was the last time. So this one was called Rhythm. I like this. I think it's going to give my page a nice look. It's simple. So now as a dry fit here, the next thing I'm going to be looking for is a journaling spot here. And then I found a few stickers that I like. And I think this page will be quickly completed. Let me go find a journaling mat. So while I was trying to figure this out, I decided that for a mat card, I was going to cut up this variety mat card. But I said, before I do that, let me check to see if I had some paper. And I did. I had this piece of paper. I've cut it to 5 inches. It was already 3 inches. And I think that that will go just fine. I like that it's overhanging my bottom border. And then I could write on it just as it is, or I could cut up this. This is the old version of the lined paper. They now have a one that's lined on both sides. But as you can see, it is indeed a scrap, and I think I can cut it to give me an obvious journaling space. And then I have some of these totally tonal tangerine colored stickers, and I think I can pull out one or two of those. So I'll be back with this page finished. So I finished the right-hand side of this layout. I pulled out some old favorite punches, the Reels punch, the admission ticket punch, and the banner border maker cartridge. And the close-ups will show how I put them in a cluster here around my journaling box, and then a cluster diagonally up in the upper right. And I thought about trying to be clever by making a border at the bottom, but sometimes simple is just the right way to go. And I really like how the layout turned out. I like the colors. I was sort of guided from the photos to the colors. And I'm going to be right back with both pages together. So here is our 2-page layout. Now I'm calling this number, I think they're number 24 and 25 out of the 32 I'm trying to make. Made all with scraps, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. It started off with just these 2 blocks of light blue cardstock, and I am happy I made the decision to shift the blocks instead of letting the blocks go from left to right level with each other. I shifted these down and shifted these up because the pages are meant to go together, but they are 2 different subjects. So I didn't want them to just look like one continuous story from left to right. This is a story and this is a story. And we made the new banner up here, which was so much fun to make using the new custom border tools. But I'm thrilled for getting the layout complete, using up the scraps. I hope that you enjoyed the video and will like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment on whatever you think about this. And YouTube says, here's another video you may want to watch. So I hope that you will watch it and have a fine scrappy day.